passed your test. You are now a yellow belt. We're going to get started and we're going to go into our yellow belt material. We're going to go into elbow strikes, back kicks. You're going to learn 2 and 3 combination. A lot of different material, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, let's get started. We're going to start with our first part of material to get our first stripe, and that is, of course, our stances. And let's get into our first stance. Now, let's get into our pine tree stance. And as you see, the pine tree stance is just standing, feet shoulder width apart, hands on our side, and it's as if we were waiting on the bus stop or maybe standing in line at the store. We practice a lot of fighting techniques from here because you never know when you might be attacked, when somebody might throw a punch at you. So right now, if Tom was just hanging out on the bus stop and somebody threw a punch at him, Tom would block, just back, and then maybe go into 6 combination and step off, okay? So our pine tree stance, nice and simple, pine tree standing nice and straight, knees slightly bent, toes nice and straight, shoulders nice and relaxed, hands on our side. The next stance that we have for our yellow belt is our half mooning with strikes. So Tom, let's see half moon stance, right leg back, hands going down, or our fighting stance. Now Tom is going to move his right leg in and step out as he does his half moon. And at the same time now, he's going to throw a strike. So that's it, very good. And now one thing that I want you to keep noticing in these first couple ranks, white, yellow, orange, is all of our strikes, the same hand, same leg. Same hand, same leg. So as he half moves forward with his left foot, he's going to do a strike with the left hand. Now the same thing as we move back. His left foot slides back, and then he strikes with the right. Whatever leg is in front, that's the hand that is in front. Okay? Also, he does with any strike. Do a thrust punch now. Half moon forward, do a thrust punch. Set. Half moon back and do a palm strike. We can practice any strike. These are our 2 stances.
Second piece of material we're going to get to toward our first stripe of yellow belt is our blocking systems. Now, interesting enough, the actual blocking system is the same as it was in our white belt. The only difference is we can actually start adding strikes to it, so we get a flow going. So when we start sparring at later belts, there's no hesitation or no pause. After we throw that first block, we don't know what to do. We're going to add our counter strikes to it, which is what we're going to start getting to right now. So Sensei Ryan is going to do right foot out for us. Ready? Go. Excellent. Now just remember, think of this as a mirror image right now. So Sensei Ryan will be using his left arm, and if you were looking in a mirror right now, you would be using your right arm. And he's going to pump out block number 1 for starters. So he does block number 1, and then the counter strike is going to be a front 2 knuckle punch, which we had at our previous rank as well. Block number 2, and the counter. Excellent. So what it's going to look like is this. Sensei Ryan faces me. We get into a horse stance. Here comes an attack. Here comes a punch. He blocks out. Ready? And then he goes to counter strike. Excellent. And then number 2, block and counter strike. Exactly. That was perfect. Right, let's get back to our horse stance. Excellent. The next we want to get to is block number 3. Same exact block. So block number 3 comes across, and now he's going to throw a back 2 knuckle punch. This should be pretty easy so far, guys. We did a lot of these strikes at our previous ranks. You should be feeling pretty good. Block number 4, across and back 2 knuckle punch, which I love these right here, number 3 and 4, because when you learn combination 2 later on, that's how it's going to start. So this is what it's going to look like. Ready? The punch comes straight in, and Sensei Ryan is going to block, and then it's a back 2 knuckle punch. Bam, right to the chin, just like we were talking about before. Here comes number 4. He blocks, back 2 knuckle punch. Easy cake. Let's get back to our horse stance. Okay, block number 5 now. Block number 5 comes straight up. And now, if you're blocking nice and high, guess where the bad guy's open right now? If he's trying to hit you on top of his head, guess what? His ribs are right open right now. So Sensei Ryan's going to come down with something called a side hammer strike. His hand's going to swing down, and with this part of our hand right here, not the actual pinky, but the muscle on the side of the hand, is going to come out and just crush right to the ribs right from there. Excellent. Block number 6 comes straight up and swings right to that open spot, right to the ribs. So if Sensei Ryan and I were facing each other, I'm going to come in, he blocks up, and then comes right over to my midsection right from here. Or if I come into the opposite side, bam, he's going to come right into my ribs, right whatever area is open when I go to attack. Anytime I'm reaching out to strike, I'm opening up some part of my body, my ribs, my chest, my stomach, and that's what he's targeting right now. Thank you, sir. We're going to go into block number 7 now. Block number 7 comes straight down. Now this strike is a little different. We didn't do this at white belt. We're learning it at yellow belt. It's called the rising sun fist. The rising sun fist is actually going to start low. Let's do it together, Sensei Ryan. We block down, and our hand is going to come slightly back in toward us, and then start shooting out and up at the same time. So we're going to use actually the top of our knuckles. not the front, but the top of our knuckles to knock someone's chin up. Or believe it or not, if the person's very close, we can use our forearm to knock their face straight up. So Sensei Ryan and I were facing each other. Okay, we're going to go into block number 7 right from here. So he blocks, and now his arm's going to come straight up, knocking my chin up. If I was even closer right from here, and he's going to do the same block for me, ready, he blocks, and here comes the forearm coming across my arm, knocking my face up and out. Exactly. Let's get back to our spots. Okay, good. We did number 7, now let's see how number 8 looks. Ready, and go. Excellent, okay. Perfect. Now we're going to crank him right out. Sensei Ryan, front position. Ready, and right foot out. Go! 8-point blocking with the counter strikes. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Excellent. Front position. Okay, so now that we've covered our 8-point blocking with counter strikes, let's actually get to some other hand strikes that we'll be covering to get to our first stripe at yellow belt. Sensei Brad, fighting stance, go. Good. And actually we covered this strike in our blocks and counter strikes, but let's go over it just to make sure we understand. It's our hammer strike, or our side hammer strike. And there's 2 ways to actually throw this strike. The side hammer strike is actually we do it with our right hand, and I want you to think of making a muscle right now. Stick your right hand like you're bringing your hand near your ear, like you're making a muscle. Now you're going to start to turn your body, and as you turn your body, take the pinky side of your hand, not your actual pinky, not your wrist, right in between, right where the meat of your hand is, and I want you to swing right over to the side. Perfect. Going right to the ribs. Okay, so let's do that again. Hands to the side like we're making a muscle. We start to turn our body and drop everything. You'll notice my elbow starts to almost collapse in. So think of my elbow collapsing in, my hand coming out, crushing to the rib. Ready? Let's do it once together with a ki. Ready? And go. Kia! One more time. Ready? And go. Kia! Excellent. The second way to throw this strike is going in the opposite direction. Think of getting ready for that block number 7 or 8. So now my hand is going to go to my opposite ear. And now my hand's going to start to swing in this direction. Perfect. It's almost like a number 7 or 8 block, only it's going to be a little higher. I'm going to focus on not so much with this bone, but now I'm going to be focusing again with the meat of my hand right from here. Perfect shot to go down to someone's groin, their stomach. If someone's very close to you, you just let that hand drop straight down, and that's a quick side hammer strike. Let's do one together. Ready, Sensei Brad? And go! Kia! One more time. Ready? Go! Kia! Excellent. Okay, the next punch we're going to get to, we haven't touched on yet in our counter strikes, and that's our thrust punch. Thrust punch is very similar to your front punches and your back punches. It really has to do with a matter of distance. And I want you to picture right now, if someone's a little closer to you right now, this happens to be a perfect shot to go right to the stomach. We're going to take our front 2 knuckle punch, let's extend our arms, and I want you to turn your hand to the side right now. Good, and now start to drop your arm down. Perfect. Now we get back on guard. So now when we throw our punch, we're still going to turn our hips, we're still going to turn our foot right from here, and we will extend the side of that punch right to the solar plexus area, right to the stomach area, and bring it right back. Ready? Nice loud ki. Ready? And go. Kia! Good. One more time. And go. Kia! Good. Sometimes when I'm sparring, if I find I'm very close to somebody and I can't hit it with that right cross or that front 2 knuckle punch, I'll turn it over to a quick thrust punch. It just feels better on my shoulders, better for distance. That's a good tip for the adults that are also taking classes. All right, our next strike right from here happens to be our rising sun fist. And we did actually cover this in our 8-point blocking with counter strikes, but let's just make sure we're doing it correctly. Let's start with our left hand. Okay, our left hand right from here, I want you to start to drop it down. Think like you're doing a block number 7 or 8. And now you're going to follow that flow. Your hand's just going to start coming right back up. And as you let your hand come up, let your body come up with it. So it's not just my arm going up right now. I'm going to start to drop down, and then my body's going to come straight up with that shot. Now, it's not a devastating shot like a back 2 knuckle punch. It's not like a front 2 knuckle punch where you drive it in. It's a setup shot. So think right here. I'm just taking the back of my hand right now. I'm knocking the person's chin right up so that I'll be able to follow it up with another strike. And that is our rising sun fist. Our next strike is our hook punch. Okay, now our hook punch, I want you to think of this as almost like a number 3 or 4 block, meaning I'm still going to be turning my body and I'm still going to be turning my arm. The only difference now is I'm going to raise my elbow up. Okay, so my wrist, my elbow, my shoulder are all leveled right now. My arm's going to be bent about a 90-degree angle, or bent just a little bit. Now as I start to turn my hand, it's kind of like throwing a front 2 knuckle punch to the side of someone's jaw. So now my hand's going to come right around and I turn my body. Perfect. And then I get back on guard. So if I were facing Sensei Brad and he's facing me, we get a little bit closer. I'm just going to lower my hand so you can see that punch. His hand's going to come right around and connect right to the side of my jaw. Perfect. Thank you, sir. Different angles that we can attack from, the more it confuses our opponent, the more options it gives us. So the hook punch, we're just going to do 1 or 2 together. Let's do one together. Ready, Sensei Brad? Ready? And go! Yeah! One more time. Ready? And go. Yeah! Excellent. Very good. Generally, when we use our right hand for a hook punch, you can go low. But I'm going to let your senseis and your instructors help you when you get to the right hand with your right leg back later on. One of our last strikes is actually our back elbow strike. And this happens to be a great technique. We get into some of our ju-jitsus later on our back chokes right from now. It's similar to our side elbow, but instead of my hand going across this way, I'm going directly behind me. Great way to think of this. I want you to pretend like you're grabbing a cable. So Sensei Brad, extend that left hand, pretend like you're grabbing a cable right now, or almost like a tug of war, like kids do tug of war, and think of pulling straight back. All right, so when I say go, quick pull back, let that elbow strike the bad guy right into his stomach or his groin area, loud ki and exhale. Ready? And go. Yeah! One more time. Ready? Go. Yeah! Good. You'll notice both of us are sinking a little bit right now. If I stand up nice and tall and throw that shot, I can lose my balance. Too easy to lose my balance. I want to sink when I throw that shot. Okay, excellent. That is all of our hand strikes. From position. Okay, so far we're doing a good job, guys. We've covered our hand strikes and our blocks and counter strikes. We're now to our kicks. These are all the techniques that we need to get toward our first strike, getting ready at yellow belt. Okay, let's start actually with our back kick. That's our first kick. Sensei Brad actually is going to have him turn and face me, and he's going to put his right leg back. Good fighting stance. Now the back kick, listen to the name, back kick. Someone's directly behind you. All right, now the first thing you got to remember when you do any kick is you want to get into a chambered position. But in the back kick, since you don't have eyes in the back of your head, you want to see what's going on behind you. You want to make sure that like, your brother or sister's not behind you, the family dog's not behind you. You don't want to just throw a kick and all of a sudden you hurt someone accidentally. It could be someone just playing with you. So the first thing I actually want you to do is you're going to start to look over your right shoulder, but you're also going to pick up your knee into that chambered position at the same time just so you're ready. Now I want you to extend your leg back using the heel to strike with, and then bring your leg back to chamber, and then place it right back down. Remember the 4 steps we were talking about at white belt, in the white belt video? 4 steps. Knee comes up, leg goes out, comes back to the chamber, and back down. We did the same thing right here. Okay, so watch this. Step 1, knee comes up. We're just going to look behind us now at the same time. Step 2, we kick. Step 3, we come back, and we place the leg right back down. Perfect targets, believe it or not, are the knee, the groin, lower stomach. Once you start going a little higher on back kicks, it actually changes to a different kind of kick, which we'll get into in some of the other videos. The second kick we want to get to is a rising heel kick. And believe it or not, all you guys have been doing this for a long time. Let's face the camera right from here. A rising heel kick, very simple. All I want you to do is take your right leg, actually turn and face this way, Sensei Brad, turn the other direction, sir. Ready? I want you to take your right leg and just raise your leg up, okay? Heel up, correct, and right back down. It almost looks too simple, too easy to be true. Like this is our self-defense, but yeah, it is. You're just going to raise your leg, aiming right to someone's groin. So if I was right behind Sensei Brad and I was grabbing him behind like so, bam, the rising heel kick goes right to my groin to drop me down. Maybe now he has that back elbow strike, bam, oh my God, and now maybe he would actually go to throw me and I would have to do my forward roll that I learned at white belt, so I was safe. So the rising heel kick is actually extremely important. We sometimes forget about how easy some of these techniques are, and that's why we are here. We're here to remind you of these and know you the right time, teach you the right time to use them. Right, front position. Very quickly go over those 2 kicks. Ready? Fighting stance. Go. Kick. Excellent. Let's go with the right leg back kick. Make sure you look behind you. Ready? And go. Kick. Excellent. One more time. Ready? And go. Kick. Beautiful. Bad guy grabs you. I want you to give him that rising heel kick. Ready? Go. Kick. Good. One more time and go. Kick. Perfect. Front position. Excellent. Very good job, guys.
Our last piece of material to get our first stripe for yellow belt is our falls. Now at white belt we get our back slap out and our forward roll. At yellow belt we get our front slap out and our backward roll. Now let's break down the front slap out first. When we do our front slap out, same concept. We don't want to hit our head on the floor, and we want our arms to absorb the floor, okay, not our body. And we also want to make sure we breathe out so we don't get the wind knocked out of us. So we're just going to do it a little bit opposite. Instead of crouching down and falling back, we're going to crouch down and fall forward. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drop down to our knees first. So how we crouched when we did a back slap out, we're going to crouch down and drop to our knees as we do our front slap out. As we drop to our knees, I want you to pick your hands up nice and high and turn your head to the side. Okay? So let's try that again. So instead of crouching and falling back, we're going to crouch and go forward. Crouch, hands up. Turn the head to the side. Now as I do that, I'm going to stick my belly out. When I tell my little guys in class, it's almost like you're a big heavy guy getting robbed. Put up your hands. Good, and turn that head to the side. Now just let yourself fall forward and ki-eye as you absorb the floor. So my head is turned, ki-eye, and I absorb the floor. Let me try that again. Set. So ready? As I drop down, turn my head to the side, stick out your belly all the way. Set. Absorb that floor, nice low ki-eye, ki-eye. And then put the hands in, and you spring right back up. If I fell down, say somebody pushed me from behind and I fell forward, ki-eye, I can also go into my floor fighting stance and then stand back up and face my opponent. Okay? That is my front slap out. One more time. Crouch, hands up, turn the head, ki-eye. Excellent. Now we're going to go into our back slap out, back roll. Now, we know how to do our back slap out. Crouch, cross, tuck, slap. We're going to do our back slap out. As I do my slap out, I'm going to put my feet together and I'm going to kick them over to one side. I'm a righty, so I'm going to throw them over to my right side. As I throw my legs over to my right side, I'm just going to roll right over. And push my body right over. And then I'm going to stand right up. Okay? I'm not just using my hands to slap the floor, and I'm throwing my legs over to the side. If I try to throw my legs straight over my head, it's not going to work. I'm not going to roll over. So just take those legs and throw them over to the right side. I don't even have to use my hands. I can just throw my legs over and I'll be able to stand up. And that's my back slap out, back roll. One more time. Back slap out, ki-eye, and then stand up into my back roll. And those are our falls for yellow belt. Okay, we're going to get into our combinations now. Now we're into the material for our second stripe. So we can go on to orange belt. So a two combination. Okay, Tom, let's get into a fighting stance. Our first block that I'm going to use in two combination is a number 3 block. So if I'm to throw a punch at Thomas, he's going to do a number 3 block, and then he's going to step in with his right foot towards my center and do a back two knuckle to my chin. Wham, knock me back. Hold on one second. That's our 8-point blocking with our close-handed counter strike. A number 3 block with a back two knuckle out to the chin. As Tom hits me in the chin with his back two knuckle, he's going to shuffle step forward, he's going to bring his legs together, and he's going to step into a horse stance as he does a side elbow right to my body. Okay? Tom's going to sweep my leg with that left hand, with that right hand, knocking me over to the side, and then chopping me to my groin. Excellent. Set? So, if Thomas punches in for me, I'm going to start number 3 block right through. Half moon step forward into Tom's center, back two knuckle to his chin. Set? Now I'm going to shuffle step in, and I'm going to elbow to his body. I'm going to sweep Thomas's leg. Notice I don't go behind his knee, I go behind his calf. I'm going to sweep his calf up, and then I'm going to chop to his groin. Let's try that in the air, Tom. Set, so if we're practicing at home, let's do it lefty so they can follow us at home. Set? So we're going to start right from here. We're going to start number 3 block, step in, back two knuckle to the chin. Shuffle step, elbow to the body, and we're going to sweep the leg, and then chop to the groin. Excellent. Okay, let's go into number 3 combination. 3 combination starts with a left cross-body pound block. So as I throw a punch at Thomas, Thomas is going to block with his left hand, and he's going to push my hand off to the side. As that happens, look what opens up on me. My ribs are exposed. Thomas is going to drive me with a thrust punch, right to my ribs, collapsing me over, knocking the wind out of me. As that happens, he presses down on my shoulder with his left hand, and then he's going to back two knuckle my temple. That should knock me out. But Tom's not done with me yet. He's going to reach across, grab my opposite shoulder, twist the body, and then take me down. As I hit the ground, he's going to drive a thrust punch into my face. Excellent job, Thomas. Good. Let's try that 3 combination again. So first thing Tom's going to do is going to punch in. I'm going to do a cross-body palm block with my left hand. I'm going to thrust punch to the body and press down on the shoulder. As I do that, I'm going to hit a back two knuckle into Thomas's temple. Now for my peewees, that's it. That's all you need to know. Push, punch, push, punch. My juniors have the takedown. But my peewees, if you guys feel this, you got dad punching in for you, you guys can try this at home, okay? If you get dad punching in for you. So let's try that again. So just for my peewees, if you're up to 6 years old, punch comes in, I'm going to push his hand out of the way, I'm going to thrust punch to his body, press down on his shoulder, and back two knuckle to his temple. So push, punch, push, punch. I'll do it one more time. Push, punch, push, punch. Now I'm going to go into my junior takedown. My right hand's going to reach across his body, and I'm going to pull his shoulder into my chest. I'm just going to twist his body. As I twist his body, I'm going to step back with my right leg, and I'm going to take him down. As I take him down, as he hits the floor, I'm going to follow it up with a thrust punch to the body, to the face. Okay? So let's just do those one more time. If Tom does punch me, 2 combination, block, back to knuckle, elbow, swing, chop to the groin. Set, and then 3 combination. Punch comes in, push, thrust punch to the body, push down, back to knuckle, take down, thrust punch. Those are our combination techniques. From position. All right, our next requirement for our second stripe is our ju-jitsu techniques, our grab techniques. And instead of doing our wrist grabs like we did in white belt, now we're going to go to back chokeholds. Okay? It's almost like Frankenstein's coming up behind you and he's choking you. Okay? So I'm going to stand with my back to Sensei Jason, and whoa, he grabs me from behind. Now let's go right to the strikes that we learned. We learned back elbows, we learned back kicks, we also learned that rising heel kick straight up. Okay? So I can start with any one of those strikes. Now remember, hit, escape, hit again. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit to his groin, maybe do my rising heel or do my back kick to his groin. After I hit the Sensei Jason's groin, I'm going to put my foot down and I'm going to wrap my right hand around his arm. The way that I do that is I like to say I like to raise my hand in school. Okay? So I back kick, I raise my hand like I'm in school, and I just turn around and face Jason. As I turn around, my hand goes over Sensei Jason's arms, and I wrap. This wrap is called the circle of power. I call it the circle of power because my fist has to come up and connect the circle. That locks out Jason's arm. Sensei Jason, try to pull your arms out. I've locked his arm nice and tight. Now right from this circle of power, I can do a palm strike to his face, I can knee his groin, I can do a roundhouse elbow, I can strike with anything. Just remember, hit, escape, hit again. Another concept that we could do for our back chokehold jiu-jitsu is, let's just keep it simple. Let's just do all strikes. Let's do a back kick or a rising heel kick to his body. Then maybe we'll do a back kick, a back elbow to his face, to his body. How about a back elbow to his face? And then how about a palm strike? So Sensei Jason grabs me, I can kick, elbow, elbow, palm strike. Just pushing it through. Just give him an onslaught of strikes, okay, to get him off me. And those are our 2 jiu-jitsu concepts for yellow belt.
In closing, I would like to thank everyone for joining us at our yellow belt video. But before we close, I would actually like to mention our second rule of the school, which is self-control. Self-control means controlling your body, your behavior, the way you act. Perfect example, if you're in the library, you know you're not allowed to run around and scream and yell. When you're in school, you have to raise your hand, just like Sensei Ray likes to use that in some of our grab techniques. So please remember self-control. So again, in closing, thank you again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you in our orange belt video. And guys, keep practicing.